So you want to put nitrous on your SN95. Well, this video here is going to either help you make or break that decision. Alright guys, so you're thinking about throwing nitrous on your SN95. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, this is my SN95. It is a 1995 Mustang GT. So as you can see, it is carb swapped and it is on a Nitrous Express Stage 6 plate system. And with the Nitrous Express Stage 6 plate system for a carbureted setup like this one, I got anywhere from a 50 horsepower shot to a 300 shot. But what we are going to be talking about today is what nitrous systems they have for the 94 to 98 cars. Even really 94 to 04. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what kits they have for the 5.0 cars and what kits they have for the 4.6 cars as well. So to start off, I will say that nitrous is definitely a great power adder for your car, and I honestly feel like nitrous cars are a dying breed. But with all the products out there for boosted applications and stuff like that, I can understand why. Because let's think about it. With nitrous, you do have to refill your bottles every once in a while, and if you're racing constantly, you got to refill your bottles a lot more. But with boost, you pretty much have nitrous all the time. But that's going to be for a whole separate video. Alright, so let's get into some of the kits that Nitrous Express has for the SN95, the 5-liter cars. So really the cheapest kit that Nitrous Express offers for a really Fox body car with the 5-liter or the 94-95 5-liter cars is going to be the Proton Kit with the shark nozzle style sprayer. Now with the Proton Kit, I'm going to say you're probably going to spend around 600 bucks tops. That's tax and everything, and that's not including if you want to buy some extra stuff like bottle heaters and stuff like that. So that's for a very basic kit just to get you in the nitrous game and get you running and going. Now also for the Fox bodies and the 94-95 5-liter cars, they also have a plate system for them that bolts directly to the intake and in between the throttle body and the intake manifold, or the upper plenum. Now if you're asking the question, what is the difference between a shark nozzle and a plate system? Well, a shark nozzle system works just fine. They do what need to be done and they get the job done. But I will say a plate system is better. Now the only reason I say that is because it's got the spray bar technology and stuff in there. And whenever you have a plate system compared to a shark nozzle system, the nitrous hit is a lot stronger with a plate system. And I'll throw up a little clip here of a Nitrous Express demo with a plate system and I'll show you what I mean. And also for the 4.6 cars, they have a Proton Kit with a shark nozzle, or they have a plate system as well. And the plate kit mounts in the same spot. It mounts right behind the throttle body, in between the throttle body and the intake plenum. And you may be asking, with these Proton Kits, what horsepower shots do you get? Now most of the time with those, you get a 3-jet kit. You get a 35 shot, a 50 shot, and a 75 shot. Now if you go with the Proton Plus kit, you actually get anywhere from a 35 shot up to a 150 shot. And those will both work with the 5.0 liter motors as well as the 4.6, and that'll be a shark nozzle style nitrous nozzle. Now as for the nitrous plate systems for the 4.6 liters, you're probably going to be around that $900 range. It is a little bit more expensive, but you're paying for that nitrous plate technology, which I really love considering my car has it and it works great. Whenever I hit the nitrous on this thing for the first time, it really surprised me. Now if you guys were wondering, my car is on a wet shot of nitrous. It is not on a dry shot. I personally would only go for a wet shot of nitrous, mainly because it's a little bit safer, a little bit easier on the engine. So that's pretty much going to be the first point of this video, is explaining to you and telling you what kind of nitrous kits they do have from Nitrous Express for your really Fox body up to a 2004 Mustang GT. And they probably have more stuff than that. I haven't looked in a while, but I do know that they have that stuff on their website. So on to the second point, which is what nitrous kit may be best suited for you. Now to answer your question on which kit may be best suited for you, it really comes down to one main question. What is your purpose with using the nitrous? If it's gonna be something like playing around every once in a while like I do, I go to the track every once in a while, go have a little fun with the car, do a little racing down in Mexico, if you know what I mean. If you're gonna be doing something like that, a shark nozzle system will be just fine. It's a little bit cheaper and it'll get the job done just as good. Now if you're gonna be doing something more of along the lines of actually racing the car a lot, taking it to the track, drag racing or anything such like that, I would definitely go with the plate system and go with something that you can go pretty high up in jet. At least, you know, like mine, I can go 50 to 300 shot, and that should be plenty enough to get you what you need. Unless you're doing some serious drag racing and you're spraying like 3 stages of 300 shot. But me, not ready for that yet. And also guys, just pay a little bit of the extra money, go with the wet shot, don't go with the dry shot. It's just a lot safer with the wet shot, and it's a lot easier to manage. So like I said guys, it's pretty much all in what you want to do with the nitrous. If you want to just have a little bit of fun, you can go with the shark nozzle system, the Proton Kit. It'll be just fine, get you what you need done. If you want to go a little bit more illustrious and take and go a little bit better, you can take and get a plate kit for the 4.6 car or for the 5.0 liter cars. And the plate kits are absolutely amazing. I love them. But that brings us to the next point, which is how does nitrous work? I'm gonna explain that for you as best as I can. Like I say, I'm not a nitrous expert, but I'm gonna try to help you guys out. So pretty much how nitrous works is it adds extra oxygen into the engine. So pretty much whenever you take and hit the button and spray the nitrous into the engine, all it does is cram a bunch of extra oxygen into the engine and makes a bigger boom. That's all it really does. That's the short answer. So all that cooler air going into the engine creates a bigger explosion, bam, more horsepower. Like I say, I'm not a scientist. That's just pretty much how it works. I gave you guys a short and simple answer. I mean, that's really, you don't need to hear a 10-minute conversation on how nitrous adds extra horsepower to your motor. Which brings us to our next point. Can nitrous be dependable? And I do think that nitrous can be dependable, but the best way to keep it dependable is to stay on top of it. And what I mean by that, whenever you are running nitrous or making nitrous hits, you constantly need to be checking your plugs, double checking your AFRs, taking and making sure everything looks right, checking your timing marks on the plugs, and also reading your plugs to see if they're rich or lean. Because the AFR gauge does give you a reading, but until you get really into it and start cutting plugs open and actually looking at them, that's really what you want to go to with nitrous. Because AFRs, yes, they do give you a reading and it'll be really close, but sometimes it'll say that it may be a little rich or a little lean, but you can pull the plug out and actually cut it open, you know, cut the threads off, look at it, and it actually showed pretty good. I've already had that happen to me personally. My car actually says it's running just a tad bit rich on nitrous, but you take the plug out and you cut it open, it's actually pretty good. But that'll also be for another video there, teaching you guys how to read plugs. So now to get into the final point of the video, we're gonna be talking about spark plugs, heat ranges, timing, and what you should do with which shot you have. Now on Onyx's setup, we're running a 8 heat range plug, an NGK V-Power, just in the heat range of an 8, and that's what I currently run in him right now. He's actually on 24 degrees of timing. I had him at 26, but it was a little bit too much timing for the shot of nitrous I had, so we bumped him down to 24, and he's been doing good ever since. Now I can't tell you guys the shot of nitrous I got, because I got to keep that a secret for my grudge racing stuff. So pretty much most of the time, guys, on any sort of nitrous setup, whether it be a 50 shot or a 100 shot, whatever, most of the time you're going to want to go 2 heat ranges colder than stock. Now you don't have to do that in every scenario with nitrous, but most of the time the standard is 2 heat ranges colder on at least 50 shot of nitrous and above. So that brings us to timing. What kind of timing should you run, let's say, with a 100 shot of nitrous? Well, by default, your basic number that you want to do when doing timing on a motor for nitrous is every 50 horsepower that you add to the engine, you want to pull 2 degrees of timing. Let's say you have a Mustang like mine, but it's stock and it's still fuel injected and all that, it still has the computer timing control and all. So let's say you're running 12 degrees of timing. Well, if you put a 50 shot in, you're going to want to back it down to 12. And that's not saying that you can't bump it back up, but sticking to the basics, you pull 2 degrees of timing out. That way you can check the timing on the plugs. If you can add more, you can add more. But it's always best to pull more than you need out than have too much to start with. Because if you have too much timing to start with, you're going to get into pre-detonation, and that is not good with nitrous. And the main reason why you want to go with a colder plug with nitrous is because of pre-ignition or pre-detonation. But what a colder plug does, it's actually more resistant to heat and more resistant to pre-detonation. But with all that being said, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really hope it helped you out. If it did help you out, be sure to drop a thumbs up down below, take and leave a like on the video. Also leave a comment down below if you do have any questions about nitrous. I'll try to answer them. I try to answer everybody that I can. So if you guys are thinking about getting some nitrous for your SN95, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and spend the money. Go get it. I promise you won't regret it unless you blow your car up. Then don't blame me. I didn't do it. You put it on your own car. But until next time, guys, as for me and Onyx here, I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you later.